Welcome back to the University of Life. In this course, the 12 loves. We're now on to love number 3. So we started with attraction, the birthplace of love. Then we hit invested love, which is the gold standard, like expanding yourself to care about other things and wanting their happiness, well-being, and growth. And now we're on to number 3. And this one is one of the most needed ones in all the world. Like if you can nail this one, everything else flows so much better. And it's one that a lot of people need, and it's one that's challenged like crazy in this world. Like there are a lot of impediments for it, and it is self-love. Now let me give you the short version of the explanation of how self-love works. It works the exact same way as invested love. So I want you to see the good in yourself. I want you to want your happiness, desire your well-being, and work for your growth so your capacity grows to support your well-being and happiness in the long term. That's it. That's self-love. So you might say, well, this is not a different kind of love then. This is the same thing, it's just with a different target. Okay, I'm going to agree with you on that. That is true. But because loving yourself presents so many obstacles and red flags and things to deal with, it absolutely needs to be its own chapter so that we can focus on some of these extra tips and tricks for how to make it happen and get over those barriers. One of the first barriers that comes up with this, it's pretty common. I don't know whether or not you suffer from this. But it comes in the form of the ego police. And these are the people when you're like, hey, I won. And they're like, ooh, you seem to have an awfully high opinion of yourself. Oh, you're getting a little bit proud, got some ego going on, think you're better than me, than everybody else, some vanity, and they just get critical and ugly. Granted, vanity and pride and all that stuff, I think they're kind of ugly, maybe more I think they're like immature, really, because they're based on fear and scarcity, and they're just people trying to claw for some attention and affection and feeling good about themselves. They're just going about it in an ineffective way. Well, guess what else is ineffective? Cutting them down. These are people who need to be built up enough that they can stop doing it the wrong way, stop scraping and fighting for it, and start to just accept themselves and to say, hey, I'm a beautiful human being. Maybe I'm not the smartest. Maybe I'm overweight. Maybe I'm just too, what do you say when you go to a job interview and you're like, what's your biggest weakness? Maybe I just care too much, whatever. Maybe your toes are like a little bit crooked. Oh my gosh, no one can ever love me. Whatever these obstacles are to you, like seeing the good in yourself and accepting it and loving it and saying, hey, let's grow from here. Anyway, ego police is one of those things. But don't you do that to other people. Don't be ego police. I'll tell you, I am like the sworn enemy of the ego police, and I was going to say fight them maybe, but I'll try and love them into being a little more mature and wise and helpful. Stop judging, start helping. You want to make a difference, do it in a way that actually helps. Tearing people down isn't helpful. A lot of people, this is huge these days, right? Are you a social justice warrior? Are you like fighting for the underdog? You're like down with the man and the big corporations and stuff. Well, I'm not going to say you're wrong, because there's a lot of evil and selfishness and not caring for people and injustice and unfairness, all those things going on. And yeah, let's bring them. Let's see if we can make those corrections. But in so many cases, the way people go about it is just being angry and being mad. Like, you're bad, you're wrong. And then they're like, yeah, I'm like one of the super friends because I spoke truth to power, did my part. And all he did was throw shit on the world, Don't be that person all the time, especially don't be that to other people. You're not helping, you're making it worse. If you are a hater, a hater of haters, you're just another hater. So don't do that, and especially never do that to yourself. Like if you do something stupid, I did something stupid the other day. It was small, it was mild, and I felt a little bit dumb. And I'm like, that's a normal reaction. Sorry, that happens to us. Do your best not to dwell on it and say, doesn't matter, everyone does it. It's fine, I'm fine. I didn't kill anybody from it, hopefully. All right, here is another tip for you. And by the way, I have a whole other course. I wrote a book about how to love yourself, Love 301, How to Love Yourself. So I'm not going to, I've got like 30 or something chapters in that. I'm not going to reveal them all here, but I'm going to give you one more, just a taste of what you can find there if you really need some help with this one. And this one uses your mother as a really instructive thing. So I've got a question for you. Who is the best mother in the whole world? The best. Who's number one mom, at least on Mother's Day, right? Yeah, it's your mom, isn't it? Right? Not all of you are. Some of you are like, no. But here's the deal. You don't have to actually logically, physically, measurably be the best in order to be the best. Sometimes the best is like, hey, you're number one mom for me. You're the one who pushed me out, right? You're the one who changed my stinky diapers for 2 years. Can you imagine the suffering that woman went through to help you survive to the point you're at? Like, you owe her something, right? So this whole thing about like, it's okay for your mom to be the best mom in the world. This is subjective. This is you talking. We're not actually, she's not like out on a runway showing how fast she can wash dishes and I don't know how quickly she can sing you to sleep, like a beauty pageant or something. This is something else. And so, and it's logical, right? You're like, I'm okay with that. I can say, Mom, you're the best. You're my hero. I mean, when we ask people who are your heroes, the most common answer is their parents, right? These people who save them and protect them and care about them. They've cathected them. How could you not? And so it's really important. I want you to turn that same logic onto yourself and say, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to like myself, but I suck. I'm no good at parachuting and calculus, and you think of these stupid reasons where you're trying to measure yourself, like score yourself against other people, and waiting until you are king of Bunker Hill, and you're like, then I'll be happy. Then I'll love myself. Then when everyone else thinks I'm awesome, you externalize it too, don't you? You're like, you're not looking for self-esteem where you're like, hey, I'm comfortable with myself. You're looking for like others' esteem, like other people esteem you. And so you've externalized your source of well-being on a very shaky foundation. Because if you're looking for confirmation that you're okay, then you're always going to be looking for that. It means you don't have it internal, and so you're always looking for it. So it's an inherently unstable source of feeling good about yourself. So don't do that. As I'll look up the name of who said this and put it on the screen here. Said, take the I want you to like me sticker off your forehead and put it on the mirror where it belongs. Like, you should like yourself. You should. And guess what happens? Again, ironically, when you do, other people are going to like you a lot better. They're going to be more comfortable with you because you're not always uncomfortable. You're going to help, by being your best self, you're going to help draw out the best self in them, and they'll get to interact with your best self instead of something less, something insecure or angry or whatever else you'd be instead. So there are a couple arguments for you to love yourself, to desire your happiness, well-being, and growth, to invest in yourself, in your well-being. So if you have something where you need to take care of yourself, but you don't feel like it, do it anyway. Make that decision. Have the maturity and the strength, the willpower, whatever, to actually do it. Oh, if you need some help with that, by the way, I also wrote a whole book, The Motivation Equation, which helps you like tip the balance. Because usually if there's something you want to do but you don't feel like it, it's usually just a small adjustment, and suddenly you want to do it more than you don't, and you're able to do it. So that book reveals that whole secret. So that's it. In between, I know I always give you your homework and some other materials, but I want to do one of them right now. I want you to say out loud, and if you're like on the train or walking down the hall or something, I don't know, I guess you're probably not going to be watching this video while you do that. But if you're surrounded by people, you can just think it at least. But actually think this. Say, hey, I love me. I really like who I am. I enjoy myself. I deserve to be loved, and say those things. And if you say that and it feels uncomfortable, then oh my goodness, say it more. You remember that photograph in your subconscious mind, like this is reality? Well, if you load it up with enough input, it will eventually rewire itself. And you've got to say it, you've got to mean it, you got to feel it, because the conscious mind, we use language and abstract thought. The subconscious mind, its primary languages are feeling and imagery. And so if you say like, I love myself, while you're just like, I hate my toes and my knobby knees, it's going to hear the emotion, and you're just going to reinforce that self-loathing. Don't do that. So work up. You can do this by choice with some practice to be like, I like myself, and maybe like eat some ice cream or something to help yourself feel good, some chocolate, and then like, I like myself, whatever it takes. But you get busy reprogramming your brain on that. It's contagious. Like I said, people will like you that much more. Show them the way. If all these people are like afraid and being like all ego police, self-conscious, not wanting to be criticized, oh, I'm sorry, that's the world we live in. I'm sorry, especially if you're like in high school or something like that. It's tough. But you, please go be the awesome person that transcends all that. And you're like, I ain't playing those stupid games. I like myself. And you know what? You're not so bad either. So join them and teach each other a better way to do it. And when someone's being a bully and a troll online, you're like, your shoes are stupid. Don't just like jump down their throat and be even better at being bad and evil than they were. Like, just say, I think your shoes are fine. And Bob, what brings you to say such a thing? Are you having a bad day? So support it in a loving way. And we need some work. We need you to show the example, be that light. So I hope you can do that. Last thing here, I happened upon this several weeks ago. I think it's like a great solution for people who are worried about, thinking too highly of themselves. Here's how you do it. Please be excited about living your life, about something about it, about waking up and getting to do something. And if you're not, if there's nothing exciting in your life, find something to get excited about and go do that. Don't worry about, oh, I'm better than you, I'm good enough, people love me or not. If you'll just be excited about yourself, that's one great way to kind of bypass all those little cerebral machinations we go through that kind of get in our way sometimes. Just be excited, have fun, be a light, show people your example, make the world a better place. Love yourself while you're also learning to love other people, and let other people love you too. So if they're like, hey, I like you, don't be like, oh no, I suck. Whether you're trying to manipulate them into saying, no, I really like your shoes, they're really cool. Or if you're seriously self-doubting or something, don't play games, just let it be good. That's my 2 cents. I think it's worth a lot more than that. So, all right, thank you for watching. Do your homework. I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.